Coming up on UMTV News, another shooting by a police officer that results in the death of an innocent black person. We'll bring you all the details.
Plus, Halloween is in a little over than 2 weeks, but reports are already out on dangerous substances found in Halloween candy.
And later on, we'll visit one annual Miami tradition that has entertained tens of thousands of people for decades. UMTV News starts right now. Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Gianna Sanchez.
And I'm Sharon Dankwa. Thank you for joining us today. One Fort Worth police officer has resigned from the job after shooting and killing a woman inside her home. The new former officer, named Erin Dean, is white, and the woman he killed was black. And her family members are saying that the investigation now needs to come from the outside. What started as a call of concern
I'm calling about my neighbor.
Escalated to calls for answers.
No peace!
Over the weekend, 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson, playing a video game with her 8-year-old nephew in her home, was shot to death by police.
It's beyond me to begin to understand what kind of police force responds to a wellness call with the equivalent of SWAT.
A recording of the non-emergency call from neighbor James Smith sets the scene.
What's going on there?
Well, the front doors have been open since 10 o'clock, and I haven't seen anybody moving around.
Edited police body camera video shows Officer Erin Dean approaching and walking around the house and nearing a window.
Put your hands up! Show me your hands!
Shooting seconds later. Police say they have heard many calls from the community demanding a speedy investigation.
I have reached out to the Texas Rangers and we discussed that. However, at this point, they have not committed to anything. Bringing them in this late after the investigation started is not ideal for them.
Chief Corral says had the officer not resigned, he would have been fired. While the investigation continues, there is another result.
I don't know if I should call if I need help.
The neighbor who requested police check on the home says he now regrets trying to help. Police officer was charged with murder. The family's lawyer and civil rights attorney Lee Merritt tweeted that he is asking for vigorous prosecution and appropriate sentencing.
Power has been restored in northern and central California after the intentional outage last week. California's largest power utility, Pacific Gas and Electric, shut down power to almost 1 million customers, making it the largest planned power outage in state history. The company turned off the power to minimize fire risk in the area. When there are severe changes in weather, the likelihood of wildfire damage increases. While the outage may have prevented wildfires in many of the northern counties, it caused millions of dollars in damage to areas where the weather was not as harmful.
Hong Kong protests continue after 100 days. Thousands of protesters continue to block roads, block transportation routes, and vandalism has increased in the city center. Protesters have been hit with tear gas, patrol bombs, and live rounds. The protests continue because the public's concern over a proposed bill to allow fugitives to be handed over to authorities in Thailand's mainland. Many of the protesters are calling for democracy in the nation.
And just when you thought the NBA China controversy was over, the king has spoken. Just days before tip-off, NBA games have been banned from networks and player appearances were canceled. LeBron James spoke to reporters yesterday about his feelings towards the issue.
You know, when you're misinformed or you're not educated about something, and I'm just talking about, you know, the tweet itself, you know, you never know the ramifications that can happen. You know, we all seen what that did. Not only did for our league, but for all of us in America.
After the press conference, LeBron tweeted, "Let me clear up the confusion. I do not believe there was any consideration for the consequences and ramifications of the tweet. I'm not discussing the substance. Others can talk about that." Tonight, we will see the fourth installment of the Democratic presidential debates. 12 Democrats will debate and have 75 seconds to answer each question with 45 seconds for rebuttals. The candidates in the debate will be former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Kamala Harris, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, entrepreneur Andrew Yang, Senator Cory Booker, former Representative Beto O'Rourke, Senator Amy Klobuchar, former Housing Secretary Julian Castro, Representative Tulsi Gabbard, and billionaire Tom Steyer. The debate will begin at 8 p.m. on CNN.
I'll definitely have to check that out tonight.
Me too, but before we get ready for the debate, we will tell you how one man inspired a community to help chip in the school lunches.
And more on that when UMTV News returns.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Thank you for staying with us. Halloween is just around the corner, and now one university is taking a stand against specific types of Halloween costumes. Flyers are posted all over the campus of Michigan State University discouraging students from wearing offensive Halloween costumes. University officials posted flyers to ward off cultural appropriating costumes, but students say they feel that the university is overstepping their involvement in student actions.
And speaking of Halloween, parents are always urged to check Halloween candy to make sure it is safe to eat. And this year, those warnings are renewed after police in Pennsylvania found THC-infused candy. The Johnson Police Department found bags of THC-infused Nerds Rope indebbled during a search for posting the photo online. They stressed how some THC candy edibles are packaged similar to traditional candy and to be on the lookout for Halloween.
$944.34. That was the total outstanding debt in all 9 schools in the Florida Jupiter area. As reporter Grace Smith tells us, one local man decided that's a small price to pay to make a big difference in the life of a child.
I went in there and I said, I want to pay off the lunch debt.
When Andrew Levy learned that over 400 kids in his community couldn't get a full meal in their school cafeterias, he felt he had to take action.
These children that were in debt were going to either not eat or, they would get just cheese sandwiches. And I thought, that's crazy.
He had no agenda, no children in the district, and no personal connection to the schools, but he knew he could make a difference, so he just made it happen.
Food is something that you shouldn't have to think about. Children shouldn't have to learn hungry.
After he paid the bills and brought the families back to zero, Levy posted about it on Facebook, and soon hundreds of people commented asking if they could contribute next time too. And before he knew it, Levy's act of kindness started a chain reaction across Palm Beach County.
I even have had some clients over the last 48 hours say, something, I want to help, I want to give to. Every quarter I'm going to do either a GoFundMe page or a fundraising page that can raise money every quarter so lunch debt never accumulates.
Reporting for UMTV, I am Grace Smith.
We'll take a short break now, but when we return, we'll visit a couple of Caribbean carnivals that happened over the weekend. Stay with us.
Hey!
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it. Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive.
Yes.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Hurricanes football came back big with a win against number 20 ranked University of Virginia on Friday. UM held UVA to 0 touchdowns in the second half, and some second stringers saw the spotlight. It was a night for backups. The game featured N'Kosi Perry as the starting quarterback. He set the tone with a touchdown on opening drive and followed through the whole game with 182 passing yards for 16 completions. Backup kicker Turner Davidson also made a claim for the starting job, making all extra points a field goal.
Imagine running a marathon, and now imagine doing it all in 20 seconds and 26 points, 2 miles, and under 2 hours. That's exactly what Kenyan runner Eliud Kipchoge did on Saturday. Vinya managed to cross the finish line just 20 seconds before the 2-hour mark.
That the professors in science department are saying there is no human being who can run 2 hours before the year 2075. So I had to prove them that I am one of them and I can run that.
Although this sub-2-hour time does not count as a record because the marathon was not an official sanctioned course, Kipchoge also holds the official world record for marathon time, which is a little over 2 hours and 1 minute.
And last week, students walked out of class to a carnival that did not have candy or a Ferris wheel. The Caribbean Students Association took over the Lakeside patio Thursday, bringing the excitement of Carnival on campus. It was a night filled with performances, music, and flat-out celebration. But while the DJ brought students onto the dance floor, the event was organized to be a tribute to the historical Caribbean celebration.
Carnival Kickoff is our annual kickoff event for Miami Carnival, where we showcase Caribbean culture and trying to show people our deep roots. And so we just want to show people that there's a deeper meaning behind it. It comes from a rich history.
Caribbean Carnival celebrations officially kick off in Turks and Caicos this December.
And speaking of carnivals, the Miami Broward Carnival is celebrating its 35th anniversary this year. It brought some 6,000 spectators and performers during the Columbus Day weekend. Our reporter Zay Zhuang joined the enthusiasm at the carnival.
Miami Broward Carnival is an annual blowout of Caribbean colors and culture. It traditionally fests South Florida's Caribbean community during Columbus weekend, which has staged the festival since 1985. Every year, it gathers over 50,000 spectators and over 18,000 participants and performers.
I'm from New Jersey originally, and my family is from Honduras.
The tradition continues this year, and people head to Miami-Dade County Fairgrounds on Sunday, October 13th, with a massive of arts and crafts, food and drinks.
This is my first time in the Miami parade. Last year I did New York, so I wanted to just step it up, then just came to Miami.
People are surrounded by typical soca rhythms, and what makes the event more special is soca masqueraders and their costumes. People dressed up in feathered dresses and rhinestone-studded headdresses. The bright and colorful garments form a scene. Although the masquerade dance remains a vivid reminder of the complex history, people nowadays are more likely to have their own outfits to represent their personalities and their senses of beauty.
I used the inspiration of Rihanna. She did about 2 years ago with turquoise, and she had like the turquoise hair and it blended in with her outfit. So I was like, you know what, I like pink, so.
Follow the steps of a monkey zombie, the stilts walker. We can see a crowd of people gathering around the parade, where a DJ is calling out the participants country by country. Caribbean immigrants are melting into the celebration of the new community and having fun. UMTV News, Zhi Zhang reporting.
Such pretty colors at the spot. It seems that this weekend is all about Caribbean celebrations.
Yeah, it seems so, and it's just the beginning of festival season in Miami, and I can't wait.
Me neither. And that's all we have for this edition of UMTV News. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be back next week at the same time. Have a good evening.